Today is a weeding day for me. I've got various areas of the garden that they need to be weeded. I've planted various sections and already done weeding in that side of the yard. Today I'm going to go into the garden row areas. This section needs some weeding with my variety of tomato plants. So I'll weed that area. Things are looking good in the garden. I'm starting to see sprouts from the plants that I just planted. Got a nice bean section over here with big kahuna beans. Planted this section here with provider beans, a type of green bean. Over here by the fence and next to the grape plants, I've planted pinto and northern beans very close together. So I expect a good amount of produce from that section. Those sections actually. I have pinto beans on one side, northern beans on the other. Over here I have my black bean plants. Now I did plant some other plants in those garden rows, but they haven't come up. So I've got 4 or 5 black bean plants over here. I'll save the seeds and plant them again in larger quantities for a following season. This is my tangerine tree, and as you can see, the fruit is starting to ripen. We're far from there yet, but I am seeing some color on this fruit now. So I look forward to some juice, some nice tangerines to eat. Some more fruit up here. On the top of the tree we have more fruit growing, and they're starting to ripen even further than these ones here at the bottom. I have my grapefruit here. In this section, I've planted my northern beans. And what I plan to do here to keep the beans upright and make them as productive as possible is tie a piece of rope between tree to tree here to let those sprouts, those vines, come and rest on the rope, and that space with the plants upright will allow them to produce more beans than they would just lying on the ground. I noticed while I was weeding this area with my tomato plants that some of the tomato plants at their sprout stage could not handle the cold temperatures we're getting right now at night. It's not frozen temperatures, it's not frost, but it is chilly. We're getting to be about 45 degrees at night. Some of these tomato plants couldn't handle it. But I'll remind you, I am growing an heirloom garden here. And so what that means is that I'll be saving the seeds year after year from the plants that do grow. And what that also means is the plants that grow are going to have resilience to the conditions that they grew in. So I can expect frost-tolerant seeds after this year's harvest. I had some stalks of the wild lettuce that was growing throughout the yard leaned up against the side of the fence for saving for later. I was thinking about making a trellis for my plants like tomatoes and beans with them, but I decided to make mulch instead. So I chipped up the wild lettuce stalks with my lawnmower, and I put the chips around the trees and made mulch. I also have a compost pile going, and I took some of that compost and laid it down underneath the layer of mulch that I put down. So now the trees have some additional nutrition coming to them, and it's going to feed the soil. When my wild lettuce was growing and I was trimming cutting the wild lettuce back, I told the wild lettuce, I said, hey, all the nutrients from this garden stay in the garden. So now those nutrients from the wild lettuce are going under the trees.